All right, we are streaming on Facebook. Thank you guys. Welcome back to College Rodeo 101 with Bullfrog Creatives. I am Heidi Foy, the said Bullfrog creator. There's only one of me, the creator of opportunities. Today, I'm super happy to have another college profile coming your way. We're going to talk to Cal Poly and Mr. Ben Londo today. Just a little bit more house cleaning before we get started. Make sure I got my questions over here. We will, as I have talked about this, we will continue to do these rodeo profiles or these college profiles as long as y'all are interested. We have had many coaches reach out to us over the last few weeks, so I think we're doing pretty good on that. And again, if you're watching us live, please post your questions or comments in the comment section. And if you are really particular and you want to talk to or ask questions about a certain coach or a certain college, please let me know and I will do my best to get them on. It's always a little tricky, especially, the high school finals did move forward last week. So I know a lot of coaches were, or some coaches were able to make it over there and do some recruiting. Hopefully everybody is fully recruited by now, and we're actually going to be looking at next year, maybe. So we'll continue to do this, like I said, as long as we still get people reaching out, and I will keep doing it. So I want to, without further ado, want to introduce Mr. Ben Londo, who is the coach. Ben, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes. So I'm going to just kick you off. I apologize. I'm going to be looking down because I want to try to pull up the live on my phone so I can see what questions we have. So I'm going to kick you off with the first question. Where is your school located? And maybe talk to me a little bit about the community that you're located in.
Yeah, Cal Poly is in California, San Luis Obispo, California. We're right on the Central Coast. We're about halfway between LA and San Francisco. Beautiful community. I think it's consistently named happiest place in America. Our average temperature year-round is 72 degrees. We're 10 miles from the beach. Mountains right behind us. It's a beautiful place to live. Great people. The community itself is very ag and ranching based. A lot of farming. It's a great little town. Population, I want to say probably around 65,000. But it feels like everybody's small town that they grew up in. A lot of really good people here, a lot of old families. They're really proud of this rodeo program. The city itself is very proud of the rodeo program and what we've been able to do. So yeah, I can't brag enough on our community and the school.
Well, that's great. So I can't imagine. I always thought that I would really like to have all of the things available, like the ocean over here and the mountains back here. So I do definitely envy that. My family and I just got back from the mountains, so I get the thrill of getting away from it for a little bit. So, and 72 is not the average here, as you can imagine. It fluctuates substantially one way or the other. So very good weather. So you guys, I'm kind of jumping around now because I feel like the questions are just kind of coming at me. So I'm not going in order, which is not my MO, but so I assume then y'all can practice year round as well.
Yeah, we've got an outdoor facility, but we very rarely are we shut down due to weather. The worst we'll get is too much rain to practice, which it's got to be quite a bit of rain to shut us out of our arena.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about some of the academic programs y'all have at Cal Poly.
Cal Poly is a phenomenal university. They've got a wonderful ag program, architecture, construction management, which is what I graduated under. Engineering's in the top of the country. You name it, they're across the board. They've got really great programs.
So I did a little bit of research. I have always only ever known Cal Poly as Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And this really long name came up that I did not recognize. So the official name of the school, correct me if I'm wrong, California, I don't even remember now, Techna something. What is the long name?
Yeah, California State Polytechnic University.
Got it. So what's the background behind that name?
Polytechnic University, back when it started in the in the 50s and 60s. You know, I guess I don't know the whole history behind that, but yeah, that it's Cal Poly is based on learn by doing. So all of its engineering, all of its ag sciences, everything is a very integrated learn by doing university, and it stays that way to this day. You know, even with COVID and going to a lot of these virtual classes, many of our labs, many of our structures of our classes are doing everything they can to stay very personal. We've even got some labs that are staying one-on-one with students, and just because of the class sizes or the resources, they're going down to like 5 students a lab, and they're just doing several different sessions of those a day. So, you know, learn by doing is Cal Poly's motto, and it's what they push, and it's something that they do. They work into every class that we have here. And the dairy science kids are out there milking cows every day, you know, much like a lot of other great ag universities, but you can see it across the board. Engineering, they're building stuff that we use every day. I had a concrete engineering class out here that they built a really neat integrated slab for us for one of our rodeo projects. So it's a very integrated, very hands-on university.
Listen, you know, we talk, thank you so much for sharing that. We talk a lot about how different rodeo programs are going to fit the needs of different student athletes. And I feel like that's a really, really big piece to it as well. I mean, looking at more than just the structure of the rodeo program, but really how you learn. I mean, I think you learn by doing. There's a lot of people that also learn that way. So I think it's really good to know that for those kids that are coming in. Even coming in as freshmen or even coming in as transfer students, I think that's really helpful for them to make a good decision.
Well, and that's why Cal Poly is so desirable for students that are academic minded and industry professionals. You know, everyone knows about Cal Poly, and the people who leave here, they go out into the world and get high paying jobs because industries and companies value the education that Cal Poly instills. Cal Poly is tough to get into, and you gotta be academic and kind of have your stuff together to apply here. 75,000 applications last year. They take just over 4,000. They turned away 12,000 4.0 and above students last year. So it's you know, it's no easy feat getting in college here. But once you're here, and go on from here with a Cal Poly degree, it dang sure says something.
You know, to be honest with you, I'd really like to see a lot more colleges go that way, because I think when you're in those classes and you're learning, you're almost learning like this theory of how to do this stuff. And then you go out in the real world and then you're just expected to know how to implement that. And that hands-on experience, I can see why so many graduates are so successful. What a great benefit that your college has to offer.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I said, I was architecture and construction management, but I remember one of my first classes, my freshman year, construction management class, we all got in there, sat down, filled out the paperwork for the first day of class, and we loaded up and went to a job site that first day. And I mean, hands-on from day one. And that's what's really interesting and really neat about this campus. And you know, we've got a beautiful, a large campus, one of the biggest acreage campuses in California, and we use it every day. And what's also really interesting to me and something I'm very proud of is how integrated all of our colleges are. You know, the College of Ag works closely with construction management. I proposed a project for a construction management class that when we go in and we build a rodeo arena inside our football stadium on natural grass, and it's a huge process. I mean, it's 15 dump trucks running all night long, loaders, 6 skid steers, 2 excavators. Over 9 hours, we move about 2,000 yards of dirt and 2,000 sheets of plywood. So I incorporated a construction management class that deals with scheduling and you know, task management and cycle times, all that stuff that we would be using for this project. And I said, hey, here it is, you know, 1 block from your guys' campus building. Why don't you jump in on this project? And across the board, we've had a lot of help through our media department, journalism. Everybody really works together at this college.
Very cool. It sounds really exciting. I'm very interested to see, I don't know, just to kind of watch. I have been, as you may know, around college rodeo for many years and did not know that about Cal Poly. So I appreciate you sharing that information with us. So let's keep moving. Many of the colleges we've talked to have very similar responses to this question. So I'm going to keep asking it because I think it's really important. Does Cal Poly require incoming freshmen to live on campus? If so, what are their options? If there are no requirements for that, talk to me a little bit about what the community is like to live in and to rent from. And then also maybe touch base on meal plans.
Yeah. So freshmen are required to live on campus, much like many universities. And we are trying, much like many universities, to require that of second year students as well. I don't see it happening in the next couple of years, but it's something they're working for. We have sorry.
You're right.
Dialogue box pop up here. Sorry. Got a great campus life. There's good. All the dorm housing is up at the very north end of campus, or the east end of campus, up on the hill. Really good structure, really good community structure, great facilities, great places to eat. Our rec center it's worth a Google. It's an absolutely amazing rec center, and the students are in there at all hours of the day. It's pretty amazing. I think it has 6 or 7 basketball courts, a beach volleyball, a beach pool built into it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an amazing structure. They've got great campus life programs. The first week of school, we've got a WOW program where it's a week of welcome, where all the new students get in groups, and you get to meet people completely out of your major, completely out of your world, really. Mm-hmm. And for a week, they just introduce you to the city, to the county, to the school. They go to the beach. You name it, they go and they introduce everybody to this program, and it's pretty amazing.
Very cool. It sounds great. Did I hear you say it's worth a Google? Did you say that?
It's worth a Google.
I like that. I've not heard that before. I like it. I say GTS a lot, but I've not heard that.
Yes, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, Google that stuff. Google that stuff.
See, now I'm going to have to use that. That's better than with a Google.
Yeah, I like it. So let's talk about the good stuff, Ben. Let's talk about the rodeo program. You mentioned that y'all have a practice facility. Obviously the weather, if your average is 72 degrees year round, I still can't really wrap my mind around that. I'm already getting ready for the cold weather to come our way. So, but talk to me about the practice facility, maybe the stock, and then also boarding horses. What are our options for boarding horses when we get there?
So as far as a facility, we're spoiled here. We own our own facility. It's right on campus, big, nice arena. All our stock, our feedlot, everything's right here, right next to the arena. We own all our own stock. We bring in some bucking horses and some bulls when we need them. But we've got 22 head of bucking horses right now. I always have usually about 80 steers, 120 calves, 30 some goats. We're never short on stock, never short on opportunities. Our stalls are right here on campus as well, right next to the arena. Plenty of parking. So a student can keep their trailer here, keep their horse here, practice here. And outside of going to jackpots or going somewhere else, they never really have to fire the rig up to go anywhere except for off campus. A lot of our students park here at the rodeo grounds. We start our practice regiment pretty early in the morning, 5:30 or 6. So they'll be here first thing in the morning, and usually they don't leave till about dark. Another huge attribute to our program is that, being that we do own our rodeo grounds and our arena and have full access to it, is we don't have to share it with any other programs, which is not that we don't want to share it, but it's nice to have access to it. So a student that has a really tough day, maybe during finals week, has 2 finals, misses all their practice session, can come out here, get their horses out of their pen at 11 o'clock at night, kick the lights on and ride. So they have full access to this place, just like their own place.
So I think it's, especially after talking to as many colleges as I have, it's more common now for colleges to have their own facilities, if not on campus, not very far from campus. I'm not really sure when that changed, because I don't recall that being an option, or many options when I was going to school. So it's really good to see. I think, you talked about your community loves your rodeo program. I think it's really good to see that consistently across the nation.
Right. Well, I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and I remember my dad helped. He was the rough stock coach at Walla Walla Community College.
Yeah.
And they would rent the fairgrounds in Walla Walla 2 days a week, and I want to say it was for 4 hours. And they would try and cram 3 or 4 events in 4 hours of a rented facility. I remember the students had to trailer in from all over the county, wherever they kept their horses, because there was no official place for the rodeo team to board. And it was a challenge, and it's tough, and it's tough. I mean, many rodeo coaches can attest to this. It's tough to host a practice of anything other than one event in 4 hours.
Yes.
In a new location where you have to get in there, set up, haul your cattle in, and tear down before you leave. So,
yeah, I mean, I think both the schools that I attended, I boarded my horses somewhere and trailered to practice every day. So I can definitely see the benefit of having your own facility. Ben, we do have a question from Mr. Durham. Is it a requirement to keep horses on campus at the facility, or can they pasture board close by?
Yeah, no, it's not a requirement to stay at the facility here. It's something I offer as an amenity to the students. And really, the cost of living here in San Luis Obispo is pretty high. Boarding horses, most other places, you're lucky to find anything under $400 a month. Yeah, no, it's not cheap. So here I provide a stall, practice, trailer parking, and feed. And we're right around $600 a quarter. A quarter is about 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
And I do that that's a break-even animal for us. We get a lot of food donated. We get a lot of practice stock donated, and I pass those savings right through to the students.
My warranty's up, I'm thinking. They're calling to tell me my warranty's up. I apologize for that. So I think it's really interesting, as you know, a lot of people, a lot of women that have barrel horses would prefer to not have them in a 10x10 stall. Are there any options for like runs or anything like that? Or is it just the stall availability?
Yeah, but we've been rebuilding all of our stalls. We've got 120 stalls right now, and 100 of them are 14 by 28.
Oh, so wow.
Big, nice, fully covered stalls. The remaining, I've got 80 of them that are 12 by 36.
Oh my gosh. So not your average stall anyways.
Yeah, when I started here, everything was a 12 by 12 stall, and it was miserable. Miserable. But we've been revamping quite a bit over the last 5 years.
Very good. I mean, I think that knowing that alone personally, I would have wanted a bigger pen for my horses, because they would have been used to being kicked out most of the time. So I think that would have relieved some worries in that regard.
Well, and that's made a huge difference on just the health and happiness of our horses. Being in a 12 versus, even just that 2 foot wider, that 14 foot, allowing a horse to lay down and roll and get up without having to worry about getting cast or be pinned.
Yeah. Great. That sounds good. So just real quickly, I'm real interested. I know that a lot of regions are kind of left to their own to make a plan moving forward for COVID and for the next season. So can you talk to me briefly about what you guys are expecting in the West Coast region? Yeah,
West Coast region, we've the coaches got together right after our spring break, so mid-March, and we decided that looking forward and for planning purposes, we just decided to bump our entire schedule for 2020, 2021 to a spring-only schedule.
Oh my goodness.
Usually we have four rodeos in the fall, but it was pretty clear to see that we weren't going to know much, especially being in California and the state system. It was just easier and easier financially for the families to plan, to move everything to spring. So yeah, we don't have much to worry about this fall. And we have got a coaches meeting next week to kind of dial in what we're going to do from here. But we did make that call early, and it's helped a lot with the students and their families for planning. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can totally understand that. So y'all are going to fit 10 rodeos in next spring. Well, we're going to try and get at least 8.
Okay.
We'll get at least 8, hopefully do 10. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm going to kind of step back a little bit, back to more specific to your program. With that, I guess with that and maybe some limitations on your recruiting process this year, are you fully recruited for the 2020-2021 season? If you're not, do you have scholarship money available? I mean, what does it look like? Or are you ready and you're looking forward to 21-22? Ooh, that's even crazier.
Looking for 21-22.
Okay.
Yeah. It's such a process to get into Cal Poly.
Right.
Our admissions closed November 30th, the year before. So everybody that's in is in by early March, mid-March. So that shuts the door for this
that kind of changes things. So if anybody is interested in attending 21-22, they need to apply by November. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Okay, so that is really, really good. I think y'all better be planning ahead if you want to go to Cal Poly, which I'm guessing most people do because they already know this about Cal Poly. But for those of you that do not, this is really good information for you to kind of get your ducks in a row. If you've not reached out to Ben and you're interested in rodeoing, definitely want to do that and have your application turned into the college before November. So that's really helpful then, good to know. I think that's all I have for questions. Ben, is there anything else you want to add and want to make sure that people are aware of for your program?
Gosh, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, well, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate everybody watching live. Again, if you are watching live and something comes up and you want to ask us a question, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Ben. I will be sharing more information. I can share Ben's contact information, or you can always reach out to me and I will make that connection somewhere. I'll make that happen. If you are rewatching and you could not tune in live, we definitely appreciate your support. And if you come across a question or something pops up and we did not get it answered, please reach out to me and let me know. We will get that question for you, get the question answered. Oh, look, I did get one more question. So this is a good question. I think I know the answer, but can a rodeo scholarship get you into the school? Will that help secure admittance?
No. And that's, I guess that's something that as a coach, I can toot our horn a little bit is we've got roughly 80 students in our rodeo program and they all got into Cal Poly on their own academic merit. I don't have any buys, any freebies. I can't even pull any strings. So all these students that are getting into Cal Poly and rodeoing for our team have got in on their own.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're real interested, thanks, Jackie, for your question. I appreciate that. That's a really good question. If you are interested, yeah, sharpen your pencil and get that application put in. I would say reach out to Ben and let him know that you're interested. Make sure you get that application in. You may or may not be aware if y'all are watching, but you cannot sign a letter of intent to attend on a rodeo scholarship or attend for rodeo until March. Which obviously those dates do not match, but make sure you're getting that application to the school in early. And I would say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, apply to many schools because sometimes it just doesn't quite work out. So thank you for asking that.
One thing I might add too is we've got a great feeder program, community college. It's less than 5 miles from our campus, Cuesta Community College. Cuesta is set up basically to help students academically transfer into Cal Poly.
Great.
We've got about 30 kids on the rodeo team at Cuesta. It's been a great farm team and feeder program for us. The Cuesta rodeo students practice right here with us as part of our team. So it's a great option as well. And it's not as tough to get into and a little less costly as well. And it's a great school. A lot of the same teachers teach both at Cal Poly and at Cuesta. So the curriculum, the process is really geared to help build Cal Poly students. That's great. That's a really, really good kind of suggestion. 2-year, I'm not going to lie, is not a bad start anyways. No. Kind of get your feet in the door, break yourself in a little bit, I don't know, a little bit easier, I think. Very, very good to know. And if you're getting the benefit of using the same practice facilities, and then you can step on up to Cal Poly after you finish your education there. That's a really good option. Well, and another thing about it too is Cal Poly doesn't have an undeclared major. So when you come to Cal
Ah,
Poly, when you apply to Cal Poly, you've got to pick a major from day one, and you start on major courses on your very first day here. So Cuesta, I mean, if you're a little unsure what you want to do, and
mhm,
to be honest, who the heck knows what they want to do at 18 years old?
right.
It's a great chance to kind of get your feet wet and get your general education out of the way and kind of fish the pond a little bit before you apply to Cal Poly.
Yeah, for sure. Very good option. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I'll do a quick wrap up, and then if y'all have any other questions, please reach back out to us. Next week, I don't have my calendar open. Next week, we're going to be chatting with Montana State University Northern. So we're going back up to the Big Sky region. Clearly, I have a lot of watchers in the Big Sky, which I'm proud of that. They also don't know what it's like to have an average of 72 degrees. So they may be watching to go somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see. Um, so thank you, Ben, so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everybody watching and tuning in. Again, as I have said before, if you want more information, please reach out to me. If you are looking for one college in particular or a handful in particular, please also reach out to me and let me know, and I will do my best to have them on. Y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday.
Thanks a lot, Heidi. Keep up the good
Yes.
work.
Thank you.